Hi, this is Abby with Happy Little Mystic, and welcome back to your free self-paced tarot course. In today's lesson, we'll be going over the 10s in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck and how they show up in each one of the 4 elements. If you've missed any of our other lessons so far on the tarot deck, you can check out the playlist link in the description box below. And if you're following along with our tarot workbook, if you open up to the Minor Arcana section, you will find a place to record all the information needed for the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, and the 10 of Pentacles. All right, let's get started. We're going to start off with our 10 of Wands. And if we look closely here at the imagery, we'll see that we have this figure and they're struggling to carry these 10 heavy wands. He's hunched over here, walking toward a town in the background. This imagery is symbolizing burdens, overwhelm, responsibility, burnout, and carrying too much alone. The town in the distance shows that the struggle is temporary and a finish line is near. But the person here is refusing to lighten their load or ask for help. So the card is illustrating the weight of expectations, either self-imposed or external. Moving on to the Zodiac sign section. The Wands is our fire element, so we're going to have a fire sign. In this case, it is Sagittarius. So this card is linked to the Sagittarian persistence, responsibility, and the drive to finish what you've started, even when you're exhausted. The numerology for the 10 of Wands is the number 10, and 10 represents completion, endings, fulfillment, and this transition into a new cycle. So in the Wands card, we're highlighting the shadow of completion. So this final push, taking on too much, overextension, and learning the limits of personal energy. It's this completion that comes with a heavy load, teaching discernment. If you ask a yes or no question and the 10 of Wands shows up, the answer is usually a no, and that's because it indicates overwhelm and resistance. It could mean yes only if the question involves long-term effort with a heavy workload. If the 10 of Wands shows up in the upright position, the keywords are going to be burdens, stress, overcommitment, duty, responsibility, hard work, nearing the finish line, and exhaustion. If the 10 of Wands shows up in the reverse and you're choosing to read reversals, the keywords are going to be releasing burdens, delegating, letting go, burnout, collapse, and freedom from pressure. So you'll need to discern what this means based on what you're getting intuitively when you read the card. If the 10 of Wands shows up in a career or finance reading, upright position can indicate that you may be overworked or under-supported. It could say that you're taking on too much, stress from deadlines, financial weight trying to do it all, and this end of a heavy cycle. If it shows up in the reverse, this could indicate delegation, a lighter workload, letting go of unsustainable commitments, financial relief, and avoiding burnout. If the 10 of Wands shows up in a love or romance reading, the upright position could indicate carrying the emotional weight alone, stress affecting the relationship, feeling responsible for everything, and this one-sided effort. If it shows up in the reverse, this could indicate letting go of old baggage, sharing responsibilities, healing burnout and resentment, and a relationship becoming easier. The 10 of Wands is associated with a few of our major arcana cards. The first one is the Devil card, and this is all about burdens created by obligations or these unhealthy patterns. So again, the shadow side of the number 10 in numerology, we have our Devil. It's also associated with the Hermit card. And this is all about doing things alone. We then have the Strength card. So that perseverance here, the strength that it takes to carry this burden by yourself. And then finally, the World card. And this is our completion of a cycle. You're nearing the end of this difficult journey, and you can see the finish line in the distance. Now we'll take a look at how the Ten of Wands shows up in some of the other tarot decks that I have on hand. Our first one is the Wild Reflections Tarot deck. And in this deck, I like how the Ten of Wands has a figure here, but instead of carrying the heavy load, they actually only have one wand in their hand. They do have a basket around their neck as if they're collecting the other wands. This could be showing what happens when you do delegate the work. In our Guardian Angel Messages Tarot deck by Radleigh Valentine, this seems to be an updated version of what it feels like to be overwhelmed with all these burdens. I like how this person here has the wands bundled together in this basket. It's as if it's in the way. They're going to have to move it around. The words here on the bottom are overworked, stressed, and imbalanced. We'll see this messy kitchen here in the background. This person is exhausted. They've given up in the middle of cleaning. But I do like how they have a lucky coin here. So it's not to say that you're out of luck, that this is the end and that you can move forward. There is that finish line. There is this swooping in of luck. And then finally, we have the Angel Tarot cards, also by Radleigh Valentine. And in this one, the wands are these very colorful full staffs here. And I like how they have them in this pot and it's being carried by a dragon. We have too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance and stress-related health concerns. Okay, so that's all I have for the Ten of Wands. In our next section, we'll talk about the Ten of Cups. If you're following along with our tarot workbook, you can go ahead and turn to the Cup section and find a place to record the information needed for the Ten of Cups. So right away, when we look at the imagery of the Ten of Cups, we see this large rainbow overhead. It has 10 cups within its arch, and it's across the sky as this couple down here is raising their arms. They've got 2 children dancing here nearby. The scene is symbolizing this emotional fulfillment, harmony, family unity, joy, and their shared blessings. The rainbow is suggesting this divine promise, this healing, and emotional completion. The landscape down here is showing us peace and safety and this lasting happiness. So the Ten of Cups is known as our happily ever after card. I also like that it has the rainbow symbolism here. That could be something that pops up as a synchronicity in your readings. Moving over to the Zodiac sign section, this is a cups suit, so it goes along with our water element and a water sign. In this case, the astrology is Mars in Pisces. So Mars' effort is being channeled into this emotional harmony, spiritual unity, and compassion. The numerology for the Ten of Cups is the number 10. 10 symbolizes this culmination of emotional cycles. So it's arriving at this complete harmony and understanding. So in the cups, the 10 is the highest form of emotional satisfaction. We have joy, connection, blessings, and long-term fulfillment. It's representing a cycle coming full circle in the heart space. If you ask a yes or no question and the Ten of Cups shows up, the answer is a strong yes, especially for emotional matters. So that's family, home, and relationships. If the Ten of Cups shows up in a reading in the upright position, the keywords are going to be happiness, family harmony, fulfillment, peace, long-term emotional success, alignment, and blessings. If the Ten of Cups shows up in the reverse and you're choosing to read reversals, the keywords are going to be disconnection, misaligned expectations, family tension, illusion of perfection, or relationship imbalances. If the Ten of Cups shows up in a career or finance reading, the upright position can indicate a supportive work environment, a dream career coming together, work-life balance, and financial comfort and stability. If it shows up in the reverse, this can indicate misalignment with career goals, disappointment in the workplace culture, chasing something that looks good but feels empty, and financial stress at home. If the Ten of Cups shows up in a love or romance reading, the upright position can indicate soul-level harmony, long-term relationships, emotional fulfillment, and family building. If it shows up in the reverse, this can indicate relationship struggles hidden behind this perfect image, miscommunication, misaligned desires for the future, and unrealistic expectations. The Ten of Cups is associated with a few of our major arcana cards. The first one is the Lover's card, and this has to do with harmony, relationships, and union. Next, we have the Star card, and this is hope and blessings. The Sun card, and this has to do with joy and family. We've got a child here riding a horse. And then finally, again, we have the World card, and that has to do with fulfillment and completion. Now we'll take a look at how the Ten of Cups shows up in some of the other tarot decks that I have on hand. In our first deck, the Angel Tarot cards by Radleigh Valentine. We have our mermaids and our cups underneath the water here. Our Ten of Water is our Ten of Cups. A contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. Trustworthy relationships. I like here that we have this family of mermaids swimming among the fish, and they each have their cup. Very nice. Next, also by Radleigh Valentine, I have the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. And in this card, we have our Ten of Water. I love how they kept a lot of the same colors here, and they just brought the family to the forefront, more in the center of the card. So we have our rainbow, we have our 10 cups, very much family, love, and blessings, that happily ever after. We have our family here. They've incorporated the dogs. Very nice. And then finally, with our Wild Reflections Tarot deck, this 10 of Cups is, again, very similar to our others. We have our rainbow present in the background. And in this deck, the cups are shells. So I like how they have those. We have our family here coming down the boardwalk as if getting ready to play, perhaps on vacation, this happily ever after. Okay, so that's all I have for the 10 of Cups. In our next section, we'll go over the 10 of Swords. If you're following along with the Tarot Workbook, you can go ahead and turn to the Swords section in the Minor Arcana, and you'll find a place to record the information for the 10 of Swords. Right away, we'll see this ominous imagery here. We have a figure lying face down with 10 swords piercing their back. The sky is black, but the horizon glows with this dawn. So the imagery is representing this painful ending, maybe betrayal, exhaustion, and the situation reaching rock bottom. But with this dawn here rising, we have this sunrise signifying rebirth, renewal, and a promise that the worst is over. So this really is our rock bottom card. And from here, all we can do is go up. Moving over to our zodiac sign section. This is a sword sign. So we have our air element, and it goes along with our air sign of Gemini. The astrology is the sun in Gemini. And this is all about duality of endings and new beginnings. This clarity after pain. The numerology for the 10 of Swords is the number 10. And 10, as we know, is representing this finality. And here it's this extreme end of the mental cycle. So we have collapse, surrender, truth revealed, and something ending so something new can begin. It's this final release of a mental struggle. So the swords do represent that mental piece. If you ask a yes or no question and the 10 of Swords shows up, the answer is usually a no. And it's indicating endings, finality, or something that's just not working out. If you pull the 10 of Swords in the upright position, the keywords are going to be endings, rock bottom, betrayal, release, collapse, the truth coming out, and a breaking point. If the 10 of Swords shows up in the reverse and you're choosing to read reversals, the keywords are going to be recovery, regeneration, healing, getting back up, the worst is over, and a new beginning after devastation. If the 10 of Swords shows up in a career or finance reading, the upright position can indicate job loss, burnout, a project failing, a painful but necessary ending, and financial collapse or setbacks. If it shows up in the reverse, this can indicate recovery after difficulty, new opportunities, healing your career path, rebuilding finances, and learning from past mistakes. If the Ten of Swords shows up in a love or romance reading, the upright position can indicate breakups, painful truths, betrayal, emotional exhaustion, and a relationship ending or changing drastically. If it shows up in the reverse, this can indicate healing, reconciliation, a fresh start, letting go of old pain, and emotional recovery. The Ten of Swords is connected to a few of our major arcana cards. We have our Death card, and this has to do with endings that lead to transformation, so actually not a bad thing. The Tower card, and this is a collapse and revelation, so something that may trigger the Ten of Swords or vice versa. We have our Star card here, and this is all about hope after the storm. And then finally, we have the Judgment card. This is an awakening after the hardship. So all very powerful major arcanas. Now we'll take a look at how the Ten of Swords shows up in some of the other decks that I have. In the Wild Reflections Tarot deck, the Ten of Swords looks very painful, similar to that of the original Imagery. So we have the swords in this deck are depicted by arrows, and they are pierced into this person. It's interesting, though, how they have him standing and still very much alive, as if he hasn't lost the fight completely. It's almost as if he's risen up and he's ready to move on and heal from this rock bottom place. Next, I have the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot by Radleigh Valentine. In this deck, the Ten of Air is very different than the first two. So we have this angel here in the center of 10 swords. And I like how he's holding this hourglass. It's showing that the time is almost running out. We have endings, recovery, and freedom. It's almost saying that within a matter of time, you'll be able to move on from whatever is weighing you down, is keeping you stuck. Very nice way of showing that imagery. And then finally, we have the Angel Tarot cards by Radleigh Valentine. And in this one, the swords element is shown with unicorns and their horns. It says the Ten of Air, the end of a difficult situation, embrace the change and expect things to get better now, recovering from an addiction. And it looks as if we've got 10 unicorns here, and they're all kind of going in different directions. So there is some chaos here, but we are getting to the end of the difficult situation. All right, very nice. So that's all I have for the Ten of Swords. In our last section, we'll go over the 10 of Pentacles. If you're following along with our tarot workbook, you can turn to the Pentacles section in the Minor Arcana, and you'll find a place to record the information needed for this card. Right away, when we look at the imagery here, we have a lot going on. We have 10 full pentacles scattered all along this card. We have this older man here sitting surrounded by family. He has dogs at his feet, and this archway is showing a large estate. The scene is symbolizing legacy, wealth, stability, generational support, family lineage, long-term security, and this material success. So I like here that they have the multiple generations and loyal dogs that are signaling this continuity, a loyalty, and long-term blessings. Definitely our legacy card. Moving over to the Zodiac sign section. With our pentacles, this is our earth element. So we're going to have an earth sign. In this case, it is the sign of Virgo. The specific astrology is Mercury in Virgo, and this is all about practicality, planning, organization, and building long-term wealth. The numerology for the 10 of Pentacles is the number 10, and we know that 10 signifies material completion. So in this case, we have financial culmination, legacy, stability, fulfillment, and this maturity. So in this case, the 10 of Pentacles is showing the highest level of security and this rootedness, success that's built over time. If you ask a yes or no question and the 10 of Pentacles shows up, the answer is a strong yes, and especially if it has to do with finances, home, or long-term questions. If you pull the 10 of Pentacles in the upright position, the keywords are going to be wealth, security, legacy, family support, long-term success, stability, and tradition. If the Ten of Pentacles shows up in the reverse and you're choosing to read reversals, the keywords are going to be financial instability, family conflict, disconnection from roots, inheritance issues, or short-term thinking. If the Ten of Pentacles shows up in a career or finance reading, the upright position can indicate financial abundance, long-term stability, successful career path, strong foundation, supportive business connections, and wealth building. If it shows up in the reverse, this can indicate poor financial planning, family business tensions, short-term thinking, unexpected expenses, and feeling unsupported. If the Ten of Pentacles shows up in a love or romance reading, the upright position can indicate long-term commitment, building a home or family, a stable, dependable partner, and marriage or serious union. If it shows up in the reverse, this can indicate values that are misaligned, family interference, conflicts over money, and fear of long-term commitment. The Ten of Pentacles is associated with a few of our major arcana cards. The first one is the Hierophant, and this has to do with tradition and this family structure. We then have the Empress with our abundance here, the Emperor with our structure and stability, and then finally we have the World, and this is our completion and fulfillment. Okay, now we'll take a look at how the Ten of Pentacles shows up in some of the other decks that I have. In our first deck, we have the Angel Tarot cards by Radleigh Valentine. In this deck, the Ten of Pentacles is known as the Ten of Earth, and we have our angels or fairies here. It says, a very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. I love that message of this card. Very nice. We have our Guardian Angel Messages Tarot, also by Radleigh Valentine. In this deck, similar to the original Imagery, we have our older gentleman here. He's sitting with a dog next to him and his family behind him under this archway of holding our 10 coins or pentacles. We have prosperity, security, and tradition. I also love how he's holding a book with a feather on it. It's almost as if he's compiled what he's learned in this life and his wisdom, and he's passing it on to his family. It's that legacy piece. And then finally, we have our Wild Reflection Tarot deck. And in this deck, the pentacles show up as our sunflowers. And again, we have that gentleman standing in the foreground. Behind him, we have the dog and the happy family, his legacy. I like how they have the lighthouse here. And again, those 10 pentacles. Very nice. Okay, so that's all I have for the tens in tarot. In our next lesson, we'll take a deep dive into the pages and how they show up among each of the 4 elements in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Okay, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.